Ah, look at that. You got it all rolling. Welcome to the family with
Alex Brant Bernard Rasmussen.
Co-host Catherine Brandt.
Andy is not with us today. Andy goes under the knife in what, like an hour?
Under the knife.
I thought he was doing it now. What time is?
He said he had to be at the hospital at 10:30, and they were going to do the surgery around noonish.
So not for another couple hours.
So he figured he would be calling me at around. He said 2:30. I'm like probably 4.
Yeah, by the time he's out.
because nothing ever
somewhere in
runs
there.
on time if it's like a day surgery situation. But
Too true. Too true.
anyway, we'll see. We'll see. He's not nervous about it, which has helped me not be
Yeah.
wound up about
Well,
it.
the amount of surgeries and medical things he's been through in his life, he's like very.
I know, but it doesn't matter. If somebody has surgery that you love.
But I mean, well,
can
no,
bother you.
I'm saying for him, I think it's just kind of like, well, I just had surgery 6 months ago, and then before that, I had another surgery six
I
months
know.
before that.
Seems
But like for me, if I went through surgery, I'd be extremely stressed because I'd be like, I haven't had surgery since I had my elbow repaired when I was 9. So
right.
Yeah, I will tell you though, Alex, as a parent, you'd really hate it.
Yep.
oh, I mean, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's like, oh, God.
Sounds
But God bless you, Andy. Hopefully it'll go smoothly. Everything will be good.
Yeah, I think it's
Sure
going to
it
be
will.
good. He already had all the tests to make sure that the cancer didn't go anywhere else. So
Yep.
yeah. And I have one of my closest friends went through this surgery 10 years ago.
yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I talked to her all about it, and she was like, "Yeah, it's really not like." She's like, "It sucks to have to take a pill every single day, and
Right.
whatever." But Andy's like, "I already have to take a bunch of pills every day." So
Oh, that's true.
again, I'm
Pill
like,
taker.
he takes a lot of pills.
I work with a bunch of pills. Does that matter? Thank you, man.
Thanks a lot.
I didn't say you guys. I didn't necessarily mean
It was
this
implied.
show.
It was implied.
It was implied, was
yes.
was.
Hey, Princeton ended their hunger strike due to hunger.
Princeton had a hunger.
it? Princeton University
Princeton
had a,
students had their 10-day hunger strike, and they were complaining nonstop that the college wasn't giving them the medical support that they needed
for a hunger
because they
strike.
were so weak and immunocompromised.
What?
It's like you choose as a grown ass person
Mm-hmm.
to go on a hunger strike, and then you expect everyone else to run to your aid.
What everybody thinks you should do. It's all about me. Everything's about me now.
When did this start
Terrible.
being like how people think?
I don't know. It just sucks.
I'm
It's
making
terrible.
this huge political stand. I'm going to stand here and light myself on fire and then blame you because you don't put me out.
Yep.
It just does not make sense.
And we'll reference something, Alex.
Oh, good.
You got to watch it, but you better have a couple of towels with you when you watch it,
Towels,
so you can wipe the
means
tears from pouring from
tissues?
your eyes.
Tissues.
tissues,
No,
Or-
you
or
need towels.
towels.
Tissues aren't going to work.
bath towels,
Bath towels. You need
Beach
bath
towels. You'll need beach
You'll
towels.
need a beach towel,
Because
exactly.
there's you
a
cry
family
so
beach
hard.
towel, a picnic blanket.
There's a movie called One Life,
One.
and it is unbelievable. It's by the way, it's at the Edina Theater. If you get a chance to go out to the theater and see it, I would love to do that when we get back home.
You know, I don't want to say it's a slow start, but it is a slow start.
Nope.
In a way, I
I
can see
mean,
it.
Slow
because
start, but it's a slow-
because we've all kind of heard versions of this story
Yeah.
before,
Yep.
and you kind of know what's going to happen. And I don't think they build up the urgency of what was going on, getting the children out of Czechoslovakia, until a little later in the show.
Yep.
I think Anthony Hopkins, as much as I love him and would watch anything he's in, he doesn't have the magnetic presence that he used to. I think he's
pretty
just
old now, yeah.
Well, I think he's just done this so many times. It's kind of like, it's like walking for anybody else.
Yeah.
It's Anthony.
Anthony Hopkins has got to be up there.
It's a true story.
It is based on a true story.
Based on a true story. It happens in Eastern Europe and
Czechoslovakia.
in Czechoslovakia, as a matter of fact, Catherine's homeland. And it ends up in London, in England, I should say. And it's a true story about a guy who saved 669 children from the Nazis. These are all Jewish children.
Mostly Jewish.
Mostly
There were some
Jewish, not all.
others.
Yeah, that's true. Mostly Jewish kids. I would defy anyone that's anti-Jew right now at our wonderful colleges throughout America to watch that movie and tell me you still don't like Jews.
Well,
I want to hear it. I really do.
I'm just here to say I will never watch that movie.
Oh, God, Alex. I'm telling you.
No.
I know. It made me cry hard.
Made both of us.
I was
cry.
like, damn you, Anthony Hopkins.
He was 86 years old.
86 years young. Wow. And
Yep.
still working.
Good for him.
It is
Good for him.
unbelievable. He saved 669 children from being killed.
Who was the young version of Anthony Hopkins? I
don't know, he was good.
Alex, do you have it up on?
Well, one life.
He was good.
He was really good. I believe I've seen him in some other things, but
Yep.
yeah, he was good.
That's
I like how British actors don't overact
No, they don't. You're
much.
right.
Some of them do,
Yep.
but very few, and I like that a lot.
Johnny Flynn. I don't.
Yeah, I don't
never
know
seen
who
this
he
person.
is.
He doesn't
Vince's
look.
brother, Johnny.
He looks like a young Anthony Hopkins.
He does. He
That's- yeah,
absolutely
well,
does.
He was in the
Yeah,
movie.
I've
a young
never.
version.
He's 41, and I don't know. I've never seen
Okay.
him in
I
anything.
might get a tear out, Alex, on this one already.
No.
At the end of the movie, Anthony Hopkins is sitting on a on a TV studio.
Jude, you seriously are stupid. Come
What is he
on.
doing? Now he's licking the dinner. Okay, anyway, to get back to it. Now I forgot what the hell I was going to say. We had to yell at Jude.
Sorry, Anthony Hopkins. At the end of it.
Oh, the very end of it, he's in a TV studio he's sitting in the audience, though. He's not on stage, sitting in the audience. And they asked him to stand up. The female host asked him to stand up and talks about all he achieved, saving 669 children. And as a matter of fact, Nikki, you should meet some of them. The entire audience stands up because, and by the way, a lot of them.
Huge spoiler alert, by the way.
It's
Yeah.
not a spoiler alert.
Kinda.
All right, then I won't say what happens.
Well,
It is unbelievable, and if you don't tear up at that scene, there's something wrong with you.
yes,
It's phenomenal.
it is.
All the things that they went through, the little children, tougher than nails. But yeah, I want you to tell me how much you can't stand Jews after watching that movie. I want to hear all about it.
Okay. Jude's freaking me out.
Jude,
Dude, cut it out.
He's
Get away.
gross
He
and
just loves to lick leather, and nobody knows
Oh,
why.
he went in.
leather.
We were in the elevator coming up, and he decided to lick some lady's legs, and she's,
Oh.
"That's okay. I just put coconut oil on them."
Jude, cut it out.
Judy, stop.
You're going to have to get him away from that chair. He's just going to do it again.
Yes, he needs to be
Stop it.
Nut job.
removed from the chair.
Job.
Well,
Jude, the
how
nut job.
was your Mother's Day?
It's very nice. We went out and had a
Wonderful.
lovely brunch.
Lovely brunch.
Oh, Alex,
Oh.
we got to tell you about our lunch.
Okay.
There was a little, about a 1-year-old kid,
Yeah, old enough to be in one of those
booster chairs.
high chairs that you clip onto the table.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whatever they're called.
Yep.
In Iglesia, I think makes it.
Inglesina, I think,
Inglesina, something like
is
that.
the brand.
Anyway.
Well, there's a bunch of different brands.
Yeah, but this is the original one that was around. It's like a portable high chair
They're
that
the
you can.
freaking best.
Yeah, they're really nice.
And
And
that's
this one had a tray table. with it.
Yes, it did.
Mine came with a tray table, but I never used it. So it was just like another thing to clean. I was like, I
I suppose.
wiped down the counter. I don't know. And,
I am not exaggerating when I say this, Alex.
oh boy.
This 1-year-old kid,
Mm-hmm.
they're having brunch for Mother's Day.
Yep.
By the time the kid was done, you could look at the floor around the high chair and say,
Yep.
dinner for 4,
There was a complete dustpan full of food
full of food.
and his one of his shoes.
He lost one of his shoes while he was eating.
I posted that on my Instagram and my ex account.
Oh, you put the picture up?
I did.
Oh, God, it's
It was
hilarious.
hilarious. I'm like every mother going out for Mother's Day brunch
Yes.
has to. You
Dad
used to be really good about cleaning it up.
I always was
Most
on my
moms just
hands.
leave it. They're like, that's
always-
why we go out to lunch is so somebody else can clean up after me.
I was on my hands and knees cleaning
Yeah.
it up, and then sometimes, like people that would work there would be like, "No, it's fine," and I'm like, "Absolutely not."
I know it is
I won't
gross.
be
It is
cleaning
gross
up.
to
This
leave it.
is- I'm like, ew.
Yeah, it's like not picking up dog poop. You should just
I'm like,
Yes.
at least make an effort.
I'm like, my kid threw this everywhere. I'll pick up the amounts of food.
I know this little tiny kid. There's a swath of about 4 feet of just mostly, I think, scrambled eggs.
It was
I think
scrambled- a lot
most
of
of it was
scrambled eggs,
scrambled
yes,
eggs. And
it was.
and he never. The kid was great. Never cried. Never
Nope,
threw
he
a
was-
fit.
nope.
Never screamed. Never had anything. He was just sitting there having fun, throwing food. His mom just kept on giving him a little piece of scrambled egg, and he just kept
Throw it.
It's
It's like my nephew. Every time you give him food, he just throws it. He's not he's not mad.
Are you talking about?
No.
Oh, because Ethan does throw a lot of
Ethan
food.
throws a lot of just.
He does.
When I was just up there for Grandparents' Day and all that, everybody came over for dinner, and the kids were sitting in the kitchen, and we were all sitting in the other room. And I went in because Ethan was all alone for a minute, and I saw that he had eaten an entire chicken wing. So I said, "Would you like another one?" And he says, "Yes." So I gave him a chicken wing. He starts licking it, and I said, "What are you doing?" He thought that was hilarious. That I said, "What are you doing?" So he starts licking it and laughing and laughing and licking the chicken. I mean, it was a big comedy routine for him. He thought it was the best thing he's ever done.
And then you threw the chicken.
And then all of a
on
sudden,
the floor.
phew, and Daisy
Ate the whole-
ate the whole chicken
With
wing.
the bone and everything.
With the
Yep.
bone and everything.
God.
Yeah.
My favorite
Yeah.
Ethan story from the last couple of weeks, though, he went out on his little tricycle ride out in the neighborhood. He had his bike helmet on, came home and wouldn't take his helmet off for 2 hours.
Yep. He wants the fun to be extended.
Yes.
He doesn't want to give up on all the fun.
He does not. He kept his helmet on for 2 hours in the house.
Yes, yesterday.
Kids love their helmets.
He said,
love
"Happy
that.
Nana Day."
Nana Day. Well, we tried to call you 3 times.
I tried to call you
Which
back
was
3
happy.
times. Nothing
Sure.
worked.
Why didn't it work?
Oh, they weren't around. I wasn't around. I don't know.
I called
Everybody
you.
called me while I was changing the sheets on the bed and left the phone in the kitchen,
Oh,
which is why I need to keep tethered to my telephone at all times with my
On Mother's
new
Day.
thingy.
You got your new deal. Look at that. She's tethered to her phone now.
New?
Carry it around
It's
when
not
I'm
good for months.
expecting a phone call. I
Yeah, on
just
Mother's
keep it
Day.
around.
you need to just keep it near you.
That was great.
Because it always is true. If everyone is going to call in the 3 minutes that you do not have your phone with you.
Or when you're not, because like to me, I was like, oh, the kids want to wish her happy Mother's Day, because like I had already talked to you and I sent you flowers and
Yep.
whatever. But I was like, oh, I want the kids to say happy Mother's Day to Nana. And then you called me. The both times you called me, I wasn't with the kids.
Oh, there you
'Cause
go.
we were at the first time you called me. Sage had a soccer football game. And I was talking to a bunch of moms, and he was playing. He got a touchdown.
Did
He
he?
did?
He got a touchdown. And he comes up to I was like standing at the fence on the outside, and he was like, "And on Mother's Day,"
Oh, God. Oh, God.
like I got the touchdown shout out from my.
That's funny.
I will never understand.
This was for you, Mom.
I'll
know,
never
exactly.
understand why people don't hang out with their children, their grandchildren. I mean, there's so much joy to it. Why wouldn't you want to be around that?
Because some people are not close with their families at all.
God, that's sad. That's too bad.
Just how it is.
Rather unfortunate. I love being around my family. Always will. Always have, always will. No question about it. So what else is going on in the world? Anything important?
You went to the Wolves game. What happened?
Game last night. We lost, not by I think 7 points. I think is what we lost by. But it was a really frustrating game because the refs were just being awful.
Really?
They
Who
were
were we
calling the Nuggets. This is so we won both games in Denver last week. They won both games in Minnesota. So now
weird.
tomorrow we're going back to Denver, and then Thursday they're back here. So there will be 7 or at least 2 more games. It's
Okay.
usually it can get up to 7. It's best of 7.
Yep.
So it's the first person to go to get to 4.
Okay.
And so, yeah, the refs, it was just like anytime a Timberwolf was like breathing too close to a Nugget, they got a foul.
Really?
Weird.
It was so frustrating. And then it was like,
Were
the-
people booing or being polite?
yeah, they went,
Minnesotans?
refs, you suck. Refs, you suck.
Good.
A couple
Well,
of times.
that's nice.
And then it was like the Nuggets could like elbow a Timberwolf and they didn't call a foul, and we were just like,
Wow.
what
I
is
hate
going
that.
on? And then the
They're paid
Timberwolves,
off.
yeah, and then the Timberwolves like couldn't play very aggressively because they're like, anytime we tap them, we get a foul, and then they get the opportunity to score more baskets, score more. What does Sage say?
Buckets.
No, he doesn't say any like football goals. He still calls it goals.
Oh, he
And
calls
I'm
it
like,
goals?
baskets. And he's like, I scored a goal. And I'm like, you play basketball constantly. You're obsessed with basketball. You collect basketball cards. It's basket, not goal. But
No, it's true.
he just can't remember the fact that it's not goal. But anyway, yeah. So it was really frustrating because we lost, but we could have definitely won had we been able to play like we normally do. But the refs were just like, no, you are not allowed to touch these people ever.
Huh. Wonder what that was all about.
Well,
Extending
it was one of those things where it was like, this could have felt fixed in a way of like, they just want the ratings are high for basketball playoffs.
Yep.
And so they want a good match and they want more games in the series because we swept the last team that we played. We won all 4 straight.
Right.
And then we won the first 2 at Denver, which was surprising to everyone. And then, so it's like the refs make the game, make or break the game, really.
Yeah.
Because like Dan was saying that in Denver, I think the first game that they played, the refs were being really ridiculous to the Timberwolves again. And he was like, but we still were able to win. And like our defense was really amazing. And it was crazy because it seemed like every shot that the Nuggets made went in.
Oh, yeah.
It seemed like every time they shot the ball, it went in the basket. I was like, what is going on? Is there a magnet? What is...
Got a
And then when
magnet.
we would shoot the ball, it went in. I think our percentage was like 42%. Like the baskets shot went in.
Oh,
So
wow.
not good. And I was just like, what is going on? This is just so weird. This game feels weird. I don't know.
Well, they do have to win that first game in Denver. They have to win that game because they can't be down 3-2 with 2 to go.
Yeah, it's hard to come back from 3-0.
3-2.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, 3. Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
We sure will. Tomorrow night they play in Denver, and then they're back here Thursday.
The game's an hour later because it's in Denver, right?
Yeah, because it's Mountain Time.
Well, is basketball like football and baseball where you usually win at home? Not so much on the road. I mean,
Typically-
more so at home than on the road?
Typically, yes, but
'Cause you
not.
got bigger crowds whipping them up.
Yeah.
And
Mhm. Yeah, so it's been surprising that we won
Yeah.
both our games in Denver and they won both their games here.
Right. Yeah. I wonder
So,
what the
yeah.
odds are on that kind of a
But
thing.
we're in a better position than they are currently because we already beat them twice in Denver, and we're going back to Denver, so we know we can do it.
And
That's
you know
true.
he can do it.
Yeah,
That's very true.
confidence.
So we'll see.
Hopefully they'll have different refs.
Well, yeah, they rotate. They're not allowed to have the same refs in.
Oh, good. Well, that's good.
No. We'll see. I know. I'm like the ref pool it's weird because it's like you're an NBA ref, and then
They
you're
just-
just sent wherever you're at.
Oh,
They're like, you have to
how
go
do you
here now.
become a ref?
You have to go through like a
Like
training program.
Yeah, you
Ref
do.
school? Know all the rules?
Ref school.
Pretty much. Yeah, you have to like prove to know all the rules of basketball and yeah,
Do a
you
lot of
have to
people
travel.
want that job? Is that a highly desirable job? Do they make a lot of money?
I was gonna say I don't know how much. I'm gonna look up.
Yeah, I have no idea how much
I'm gonna
money they
look
make.
up how much an NBA rep because I'm sure it's different for.
Because I mean, you either get a lot of love or a lot of unlove.
Yes.
Unlove. Yes, you get a lot of unlove.
If you call them as you see them,
Yeah.
and you know,
Well, the thing, like, this is the 5th game that I've been to this year, and it's the first game that I've been to that I was like, these calls are ridiculous. So,
While you're looking it up, I got to mention my Twins won again yesterday. That was a
Your
marvelous situation. My Twins.
They are your
Okay.
twins.
Referees in the NBA make anywhere from 100,000 to 550,000 for a season of 82 games.
What?
Yeah.
Half a million?
Entry level referees that are just starting out in the NBA make $150,000 each year.
That's pretty
Then
good.
if you're a,
And you have to be
you're-
on the road how many days a year?
About 40.
Oh, that's not so bad.
I mean, if you live in the hometown.
well, no, you don't. I don't think you necessarily ref for your.
No. I'm just saying it all depends. Yeah, some of them are from different areas, so they're on the road 80 days a year, or
NBA
probably
ref-
160.
80 days a year.
Well, probably 160
Oh,
because
that
you're
is a
there for
lot.
either half
Well,
day
there's-
before.
Well, and there's 82 games, so if you're reffing every game, you could be different place 82 days a year.
Indeed.
National Basketball Referee Association. Well, sorry if it makes a player who. Okay, I don't need. No, not travel.
It's okay.
Basketball traveling.
That's okay. The question's pretty much answered, I think.
well, no,
So
I
you
want
can
to.
make you can make some good cash.
Yes.
But I'm guessing
sure
once you
can.
get that ref job, you're not letting that go for a long time. There's probably not a need for new refs all the time.
No. Yeah, because most refs are older.
Yeah.
Seems
Does
like a
seem
lot
like
of them
it.
are older.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're going to be on the road that much, you don't want a young family with kids,
No.
right?
Well,
You'd
that's-
be
we-
gone all the time.
Yeah, we saw Rudy Gobert get his Defense Player of the Year award,
Oh, that's good.
which that was cool. And so I don't know if you guys have heard about all this obsession with Naz Reid,
No.
our player. We have a player, Naz Reid. He's not even one of our starters. And there's this award that they give out every year called Sixth Man of the Year. So it's like the first bench guy. And he made Sixth Man of the Year this year. So he got that. And now, and it's just like Minnesotans are obsessed with him.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
two tattoo artists that are giving Naz Reid, just his name, Naz Reid tattoos for $20. And they're booked out for months.
What?
And they were at the game last night and it said
Crazy.
Naz Reid tattoo guys. And it's just two guys that they're like, we'll give you a Naz Reid tattoo for $20. And yeah, they're booked out for months. And I mean, there's just people wear shirts that say two words, Naz Reid. And he wasn't drafted out of college.
Oh,
And he just has a really cool story and he's a really great player.
sorry.
I was like, was it me? Did I do it?
Sorry. No,
How
it was me.
dare you? What was that?
Never mind.
Okay. Why did this shrink and get weird? Okay, there we go. Anyway, I don't know. The Naz Reid thing is really funny because everybody's just completely obsessed with him and think he's so cool. And I don't know. I mean, he's a really good player. And it's funny that he didn't. It's really weird, too, because I think he's 24 years old. And you'd think that he, like, looking at him, you'd be like, he's around 40.
40?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I wish I could. I don't know how to do that.
24 years old.
I don't know how to add it. Here, Mom, show him a picture. I don't know how to do the picture thing that Andy does.
What
And
do
he's
you
good at
mean?
the pictures. Show me a picture of
Show Dad a
Naz Reid.
picture of Naz Reid.
Well, here he is. Just it's hard to see him because he's making
Yeah.
a basket.
Well, that's no, just his face.
LSU.
Yeah,
Yep, from
24 years old.
LSU, wasn't drafted out of college, and then the
Oh.
Timberwolves picked him up.
Like accidentally.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, and then now he's like one of our best
He's
players.
6'10".
No, can you even believe that?
And his reach is about another 6'10". My God, his arms are long.
Oh, Rudy Gobert, I think his wingspan is 7'10".
Jeez.
He's 7'4", I think, but his wingspan is 7'10". Like he literally just has to like do just like a little jump, and then he's at the hoop. It's just like a boop.
Well, he could probably stand flat-footed and grab the rim, I would imagine.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
you're
doubt it.
right. He does not look like he's 24.
He's 24 years old.
Now
Looks like
you can
he's
see
40.
his face. Yeah, he does. He does not look like a
God,
24-year-old
you're right. He does
man.
not look like 24.
Yeah, looks like he's 40.
Why are we talking about this now after the day after I found out? Because oh my God, I'll never forget it.
What?
When I met your mother all those years ago, I was about 6'1". Okay.
Yep.
And then about 25 years later, I measured 6 feet even.
Yeah.
Went and had an exam done. I am now 5'11". I've lost 2 inches of height in the since I met your mother. She's dragging me down.
Yep,
I'm
that's
dragging
what
you
it is.
down.
Yep.
That's what it is.
That's exactly
Okay.
what it
The only
is.
thing that makes sense.
Yeah, I went from 6'1" to 5'11" in about a 30-year span.
Well, people usually
shrink.
from their tallest until if you live into old age, you usually lose 4 inches. I think.
4?
Oh, my dad was teensy by the time he died.
Yeah,
His-
you
end up-
in his
you end up-
90s, he just was.
Yeah.
I had to kind of deal with him physically a couple of times
Deal
because he was
Yeah.
losing his vision and he was afraid. So sometimes I was trying to guide him into just sitting on the bed so I could deal with something. He had a lot of weird wounds because he was falling down and stuff, and I'd be trying to deal with his Band-Aid or fix something on him, and I was just like, you have to sit down on the bed. Or no, he had to lay down because it was on his leg, and he kept on coming forward. I'm like, just bend your knees and sit down on the bed. I had him right up against the bed, and he just kept on falling forward on me, and I was just like, man, for a tiny little shrunken up man, he's still pretty solid.
Yeah.
I had to sort of push him on the bed. I'm like, I'm sorry. I said, I'm sorry, because I'm like, otherwise we were both going to fall down,
Yeah.
and then it would have been a disaster.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you think about people that deal with the elderly, you have to be, you have to be fairly strong.
Well,
because
and they're
even though they're shrunken up and they look like they weigh nothing, they weigh something.
and they're stiff.
Yeah, that was the other
You know,
thing.
they're just really stiff and
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah,
So it's like
yeah.
you can't just okay, relax and lay.
No.
Like they don't just ugh.
Yeah, because I don't even know how. I mean, my dad must have been. He was 6'1", 6'2", when he was younger, and I don't even know if he was 5'8".
Like 5'9", probably. 5'8".
I don't even think he was as
Well,
tall
he
as
also
me.
he was very hunched
Yeah,
too.
was
He had
hunched.
that super hunched.
I know.
thing.
Every
So it's
time
like-
I walk by somebody on the street, because there's a lot of elderly people, obviously in Florida, I'm always straightening up my shoulders, oh no. Yes.
Totally adjusted.
Exactly. Maybe I should get one of those back braces. I wonder if that would help.
back.
Like those Tommy Copper bras that they're always advertising that they're supposed to keep your shoulders back. And
Yeah, there's the posture bras.
yeah, these
Yeah.
posture bras. I wonder if that would keep you from getting hunched
Actually-
over.
I know. I'm like, does that actually help? Like when you're wearing it, I could see it resists you hunching, but then does it actually help you build the muscle if you're not wearing it?
I don't know the answer
I
to
wonder.
those questions. I think you have to still do bone building
Bone?
exercises, by impact, some sort of impact, walking or jumping or hopping around on something.
Yeah.
All right, I got to
Often
tell you
correct.
this. I got to tell you this because I kind of had a suspicion something like this was true.
It is.
But I went on the Livia thing 5 weeks ago, and I've been walking between 7.5 to 8 miles every day.
He
I
has
have not missed one day doing it, and I feel better every day. I feel just great every day. I do not get hungry, any of that stuff. I have lost so far 24 pounds, almost 25 pounds. I'm already halfway to my goal from 265 to 214. But I saw something. This is a headline from today, and I think this is a huge reason for it. I don't think there's any question about it. I mean, I do not get hungry, any of the rest of it. But I usually start my day off with a 75-minute walk in the morning before the morning show, right? Headline today, to feel refreshed, people need to spend 67 minutes outside each day. So when I get home and I didn't know that, I had no idea. I was just doing 75 minutes because it would take me about 75 minutes to walk 4 miles. I walk at about 3.2, 3.3 miles an hour. So I walk 4 miles every morning, and I feel phenomenal every day. No, it's a good diet and all the rest of it. There's no question. Livia is very easy to do. You don't get hungry, none of that stuff. But getting out and walking that 67 to 75 minutes, I do 75 minutes, it does make me feel much, much better. every
I've
day.
always needed to get outside and I've always needed to move. Like last week when I had this Mohs surgery,
Yeah.
they're like, no, don't raise your blood pressure, blah, blah, blah. Don't exercise. I was getting depressed.
Yeah.
Like, I got to move
Yep.
around, man.
Yep.
I was used to, playing pickleball a couple of days a week and jumping around on the rebounder and stuff. And I'm like, this sucks
I know.
not being able to move around. It
No, I think
really
about people that
sucks.
don't exercise at all. And I'm like, I'd be a bad person.
You'd be a
It
bad-
really, it does something, it does
Okay.
something for your mood, definitely.
100%.
It's an emotional release just to
Well,
break a
endorphins,
sweat for me.
yeah.
I just like to break a sweat. I don't care if I'm gardening,
Yeah.
sweeping out the garage, whatever. I just need to break a
Repotting the
sweat.
ZZ plant.
What?
Alex, for
My-
Mother's Day, I had a couple of potted plants up in Minnesota that were outgrowing their pot very badly or becoming so root bound. And I've got the ZZ plant, which is, for those that don't know about the ZZ plant, which became a big thing during COVID. All of a sudden, everybody was dealing with plants. It's
Yes.
called a Zanzibar gem. And it's an African, I think, plant that is very, very hardy and takes a lot of abuse. But I had one that just all of a sudden, plants like to be root bound, and they take about 2 years, and then they just grow like crazy. My dad had one that we ended up having to like spread out amongst 3 people. And anyway, so Alex is like, this plant is so root bound, I can't even water it. It just comes right out. So she was taking it out of the pot.
For Mother's Day,
She had to like hack it with an axe to get
it was. I called her. I was
she
like,
was sweating,
oh my gosh. I was in your
dirt
garage.
all over her face over this one
Yeah.
little potted.
I had this whole plan for the day. I had text messaged Dan like that morning, my plan of the day, like what I was going to be doing that day and whatever. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do all these I have returns at a couple different places. I have to go pick up something from Diane, my mother-in-law, for Mother's Day, because we all went in on a Mother's Day present for her. And I was like, I can be the one to pick it up. And I had all these things I was going to do. I was going to go to your house, deal with your plants, repotting plants. I'm like, that'll take 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I
Usually.
repot plants all the time. And then I was like, I'm going to get a pedicure after that, and then I'll pick the kids up from school. Oh, no. And then I was going to take my friend Raina out for birthday coffee because it was her birthday the day before. Repotting that one plant took me an hour. I call Mom, and I'm like, I think I have to break your pot because it's not moving. Like I shoved a knife all the way around the sides and wiggled it around, but the plant was not moving. It felt like a block of cement inside of the pot. And she's like, no, don't break the pot because pots are more expensive than plants. So keep the pot, and it's a nice pot.
Yeah, the
So-
pot was $55. Pots right now are insane. You know those big
$55?
patio planters, those ceramic planters. They used to cost about $100. They are now $400 at the garden centers.
A 12
Sometimes Costco has them for a very reasonable price, but it's ridiculous how much
10
pots are now.
Yeah, a 10 to 12 inch ceramic pot's like $100.
Yeah, it's
No.
crazy.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. And then I just ended up hacking away at it with a garden hoe and being like, well, maybe we'll see if it lives. I don't know. And it was, oh my gosh, it was such a journey. It took
It was.
forever. And Dan's like, what is, and there was there were some casualties. I lost a few stems. I was like, I'm
gonna
sorry.
happen.
I can only do what I can do, but I'm going to try. I'm propagating them. I'm going to try to propagate them and see what happens.
Yeah.
And that was the time.
Yeah, we'll see if it does live because it was, you had to hack the crap out of that thing.
You really, really did. I mean, the roots
But
were
thank you. I know it would have been probably better to just break the pot. But like I said, I think a new Zanzibar gem is probably $12 and a pot's $55. So
I don't know. When I was at the garden center getting the pots, no, I was getting the soil because I had bought the pots a few weeks ago, and I was getting the soil and the feed and stuff like that. And I was looking at a couple different plants, and I was like, like maybe I'll buy myself a new plant for Mother's Day that I can keep outside for the summer and bring in and whatever, because now I can start bringing my plants outside. So expensive.
Really?
So expensive. I was like,
Well,
this
just
is
keep propagating ZZ plants.
just
You'll
keep
have plants
propagating.
forever.
And pothos. Pothos are
Yeah.
very easy to grow and
They
easy
are.
to propagate.
They are. It's true.
Yeah, so that was my Mother's Day present to Mom and Andy's. He went in on it
Andy
with me because
chipped in,
it was
not
an
on the labor, but on the
yeah.
stuff.
He was like, I'll pay for most of the stuff because you did all the work, and I'm like, I did a lot of work.
That's nice.
Thank you very much. And then I rearranged your succulent
Yeah. Bowl.
mini garden thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks a lot better.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can't wait to see it all.
There you have it.
It's all out there.
All right, I got to read this headline because this makes no sense whatsoever.
Great.
Michael Cohen's on the stand today at the Trump trial.
Yeah.
In New York City, Michael Cohen testifies about negotiating payments and bullying reporters for Trump. I have a question for you. Isn't your attorney's job to negotiate payments for you? That's what attorneys do.
This whole thing, this
Right?
whole trial's just so stupid.
But no, I'm just saying, isn't that what attorneys are supposed to do, is negotiate things for you,
Yeah.
like payments?
Yeah, and they're not. They don't clear everything with you if they just have a job to do. They're just supposed to do the job, not sit there and go, okay, I'm going to do this now, and I'm going to do that now. Is that okay? That's just not what happens.
That's not what happens. And then the other part of it, Michael Cohen testifies about negotiating payments and bullying reporters for Trump. Is that as opposed to reporters bullying you? Are they trying to say that reporters don't bully people on the street? I mean, you see them do that all the time. I got bullied by many, many reporters calling me names and this and lying their ass off about me and what I do and all the rest of it. How is that even a headline in the Wall Street Journal? Michael Cohen testifies about negotiating payments, which is your job, and bullying reporters. Oh, instead of the reporters bullying you.
Well, what does that have to do with the case
It's
anyway?
got nothing to do with anything. That's the headline in the Wall Street Journal. And I love the Wall Street Journal.
I suppose they're just trying to make everybody look bad because that seems like what this trial is about.
I mean, I don't have a
making people
dog in
look
this
bad.
fight. If somebody's guilty, I think they should pay the price for it. So I don't have a dog in it.
Actually, I think you do have a dog in this fight. I think everybody has a
Well,
dog
I
in this
agree.
fight because
That's
if they
true.
can take stuff that happened 10 years ago, case closed, and just reopen it because they don't like you and make up laws to go after people, that's not
Yeah.
good for people in general.
Well, and again, like I said, I don't have a side in this deal so far. I don't like what they're doing to him. But how can you choose a judge that has come out publicly and said, I hate him?
I thought you had to recuse yourself when you
That's
had
what I thought.
an obvious conflict of interest. This is another thing that is concerning to American citizens because if anybody ever decides to go after you, they can just blatantly say,
Yep.
I hate your guts and I'm your judge and I can't wait to put you in jail.
I know. It's
You
unbelievable.
have to be here next Tuesday. I mean, that's terrifying.
Well, this is China and Russia. I mean, we're
that's
becoming
crazy.
China and Russia. We do whatever we want to do, and if you don't like it, tough.
No, this is a crazy case.
disgusting.
Yeah, even CNN has been like, I don't think that we should have been doing this. This is not a
No,
good idea.
CNN has come out against it. You're
Yep.
absolutely right.
Yep.
We should not be doing this. This is way out. Look, again, I don't care if you hate Trump, you like Trump, whatever. That's not the issue here. This is America, and we're losing it rapidly. It ain't going to be America for long if this keeps up. You cannot allow this kind of thing to happen. Michael Cohen is a dirtbag, sleazebag, lying piece of turd.
Well.
And that's your big guy to testify against the man on trial? Really? He's a horrible person.
I know. It's really scary
I
stuff.
don't know. That stuff does bother me. Is there justice left in America, do you think?
I don't, I mean, not if people just decide that they don't like you.
God, isn't that sad?
And if you're a politician, I'm not sure either.
I mean, people run around ruining one another's lives on a daily basis. You actually like to ruin someone else's career or their life or their marriage or what. You like disturbing and destroying someone. Why do you like that? Are you that big a candy ass? Would you get picked on when you were in 6th grade or something, so now you got to pick on the world? What is that? I just don't. Do you get it?
No,
Nope.
don't understand it at all. I don't think it's understandable.
And
What
like I
was
said,
that? What was that?
that was close. Understandable.
Understandable.
Yeah, you know,
Hey.
like I said.
Like I said. Like I mistakenly said.
Anybody see the Northern Lights? Did you see the Northern Lights?
Outside of our house, if you looked through a phone, you could see like greenish, pinkish.
That's what a lot of people said. Is if you look through your iPhone, you could see the Northern Lights.
My
But
friend-
there's just so much light pollution
My
around
friend
Minneapolis.
Raina, her house. I wonder if I can show them.
I think it's supposed to happen again. There's solar flares or something. What's going on in the universe that we're having so many Northern Lights, and even in cities, people can see them in the city. They're so bright.
Yep.
Yeah, look at that. Where was she?
She lives in Shakopee.
Oh, Shakopee.
I was like, darn. I
Well,
know.
yeah, you would think that Shakopee would have a lot of light pollution just looking north because of all
Yeah.
the suburbs and the city and everything.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. I know. And Dan was like, "You should have told me," because he was watching the Timberwolves game, and he's like, "You should have told me about the Northern Lights." And I'm like, "You could only see it through a phone, and it wasn't even. If it would have been beaming fabulousness, I would have been like, come see this." But it was just you looked through a phone and you could see pinkish green.
I've only seen them one time, and that was up in Dayton. Do you remember that, Tom?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I
Yep.
went outside. I went down for a barn check at, I don't know, 11 o'clock at night, just to make sure everybody was tucked in. And I came outside and I was like, holy God, I've never seen this before. It was a good hour of them that one time.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah, it was amazing. I think you guys were asleep. I don't think I woke you up for it.
That was one thing about living in Dayton on that farm. It got very dark at night. I
Well,
will
back
tell
in
you.
the early days of being on the farm, and then after they built up everything, I
yep.
don't know if it gets dark at night up there anymore. Elk River and Rogers and Otsego have all grown like crazy. St.
I
Michael.
was just in Monticello last weekend for a dance competition, and I was like, "Wow, this is really far away."
Monticello.
We used to go to the movie theater there in Monticello from our house in Dayton.
Every once in a while, yeah, we did.
It's true.
But
Yeah, I don't know.
this
That's
is-
like a half an hour from Dayton, I think. Monticello.
Yeah,
Isn't
about
it?
20,
yeah.
25 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, because when I drove past the Rogers exit, I think it was still around a half an hour to get to our hotel.
I know whenever I go out that way, which I don't very often anymore, I'm always like, how did we live this far away? This was far. But
It was wonderful.
what was great is when we first moved out there, you could get into downtown Minneapolis in about 20, 25 minutes.
Yes.
And
Yep.
then after everybody built up and built up and built up, it was an hour
Urban
easily to get into
It was.
Minneapolis just because
Yep.
of so much traffic. And that's when I was like, I'm either going to live in the country where there aren't people all over the place. I'm not going to live in the country where I have to, fight traffic all the time. That's when we decided it was either move out further or move in. And that's when we moved in because you guys were going to college over in St. Paul. It's like I didn't want to move out farther and have to drive 2 hours to see us. So
Yeah.
we decided to move into town.
Alex, you
It was nice
look at
for a
that.
while.
How lucky you were growing up on that farm, you and Andy.
Yeah. Especially
It was wonderful.
Andy loved it out there.
he did, but I took
did.
advantage of the farm more than he did.
Yes. Well, you had liked horses and all that
I,
stuff.
and I was always running around like a wild animal. It was great.
It was great. Well, I like the fact that I think Andy still goes out there because,
He's been out to L.A. Nick bought the farm.
yeah, L.A. Nick bought our farm.
Not bought the farm, bought the farm.
Not he didn't die. He bought a farm. That's totally different. You're absolutely. He did
Yeah.
not die.
Let's make that clear.
But yeah, Andy went out there, I think, last year, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he's been out there a couple of times.
Yeah, he has.
I know. I want to take the kids out there.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
This
Yeah.
is where I grew up and like the kind of childhood I had where I just was running around outdoors.
Fawn says that you want to move to a farm someday.
She said that she wants a farm.
Oh,
She
she's
wants-
blaming you. She's saying you're the one that wants the farm.
Well, she just wants to get on a farm by any means possible.
Oh,
And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, when you live on a farm, your whole life is
yeah.
farming.
Your whole life is doing stuff with animals.
Yeah. I'm like, you don't have time to do really anything else but take
I
care
have
of the farm.
I have a friend in the building here that lives on a farm that doesn't have any animals.
No, no
For that
animals.
very reason. She had chickens, and she terrified the chickens so badly that they all died. of stress.
What? Terrifying.
Terrify them.
Yep, she did not. She thought that you had to get. So they bought some chickens, and they built a coop, and they thought that they had to herd the chickens into the coop at night. They didn't know that chickens will just go in.
Oh
You
yeah.
didn't know that?
Nope.
I grew up in North Minneapolis. I knew that.
Well, they didn't know it, so they were running around chasing the chickens,
Oh, my God.
trying to get them into
Oh my gosh.
into the coop. And I guess they were so terrified that they died of stress. I guess chickens can die of fright,
Oh, yeah, they can.
stressed out. So she said they killed the chickens
Whoops.
Where-
and decided that they weren't going to have any more animals.
Well, that's fair. It
I
doesn't
think
seem
that's
like
the
an animal
greatest.
person.
Let's buy a farm, terrorize the chickens, and then not have any animals on our farm.
See, people are not animal people. I know a couple people that I'm like, you should never have a pet. This
Oh,
is
really?
yeah.
We got Judy,
Yeah.
who's asleep.
No, animals are. They're a big responsibility, and you have to, if you want to go do something, you have to make arrangements. It is. I mean, when I
Yes, you
had the
do.
farm, it was hard to get away and hard to find good help. And
And if you have a dog like
It's not
Jude, it's
easy.
thousands of dollars in vet bills every
yeah, we
year.
do. Yeah, because he's stressed out because I left for 13 to 14 minutes, and
Yeah.
it just comes down with a new disease. Yeah, it's just fun.
I got to mention one thing before we move on. That in Dayton, the farm on which we lived, we put an addition on, a 2-bedroom, bath, 1-bath addition on the house.
Yep.
And there was not a square inch of Alex's room that wasn't covered by Minnie Mouse.
Yes, when you were.
All of it was Minnie Mouse.
It was pretty
everywhere.
darn. It was pretty darn cute.
It was very cute.
It was
Very
really
loud.
Cute.
Very loud.
It was
It was
very.
loud. Minnie Mouse.
It wasn't that loud.
Bright pink and teal.
It was a little muted. It wasn't that bad.
It was not muted. I have a picture of
not
it,
muted.
and I'm like, how did I?
Oh, do you?
sleep? How did
It
I?
was so cute.
It was
My
very
sister's
cute.
friend Gail. I know she's married now, and I don't know what her last name. It was Gail Anderson growing up, and she was working at J.C. Penney's as a decor consultant or something. And she is the one that came up with that,
Oh, is she?
and it looked so cute.
It was very cute, no doubt about
yeah,
it.
mint green curtains and
The whole deal.
it
And
was
you
so
were,
darn
what
cute.
were you, like 5? Something like 4 or 5?
When we finally got the
got it done?
addition, because
remember.
the house only had 2 bedrooms upstairs, and Andy, I would not have liked him downstairs in the lower level.
No.
2 floors away when
I
he
even
was
trust him
7.
in the lower level now.
No, I wouldn't want that. So we also really needed a mud room. Having horses and stuff, you need a mud room, and we
Yes.
didn't have one, so we put in a really nice addition.
Yep.
Yeah,
No, it was terrific. Alex has got to go in about 2 minutes, so we got 2 minutes on the show.
2 minutes.
The one with nature.
What are you doing?
We're going to a park. Well, they're there right now. They're at a park reserve, and they're like skimming the pond for
Skimming
Bugs?
the pond. Oh,
and
oh, this
going
is
on a
for
little
school.
hike. Yes, it's a
Oh,
field trip.
nice.
She was like, "We need help," because it's both first grade and second grade at our campus and the sister campus, and our second grade class is 27 kids. And the other second grade class is 22 kids. And then the first grade classes are smaller, but it's like everybody's just running around. And she's like, it's just nice to have another person there that knows all the kids and their temperaments. And like the kids trust you and you know all the parents and can tell everybody what's going on. So,
Yeah.
Sure.
'cause I usually don't work until noon. But since they have a field trip, I was like, I'll get there as soon as I possibly can.
Well, you can leave right now because it's about to click over to 20 minutes to 11.
It's a great time to be a kid in elementary school because generally they don't get anything done the last few weeks of school.
Today we have a field
They're
trip.
too excited to get out of school.
Today we
for
have
the
a field
summer.
trip. Thursday we're walking over to an older woman's house that comes to our school and reads to the
Oh, that's
kindergartners,
sweet.
first and second graders. And every year they go at the end of the year and plant a plant in her
Oh,
garden. And then she
that's
returns
nice.
it to them in the fall
Oh,
and
that's
shows
sweet.
them like how big their plant got over the summer. I know, super cute.
That's
So
very
we're doing that on Thursday
Okay.
in the afternoon. So we'll learn nothing the second half of Thursday. And then next Wednesday, Friday. No, next week is next Friday is field day, track and field day all day long. And then the following week is like there's just no school. So pretty much the Thursday before Memorial Day is the last actual day of
Right.
any education that's going to be happening, because then they're done. We have Memorial Day, and then they have school Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But Wednesday, they have a school-wide field trip to go to a playground, like a giant playground, and they play for half of the day.
Yeah.
And then Thursday is graduation, and it's a half day.
Nice.
So it's like,
all right, you better skedaddle.
And now it's 10:41. Way to go,
Yeah.
Alex.
geez,
Kept
sorry.
talking.
There's so
God.
many. It's just I'm
Get out of here.
externally processing the end of my school year.
All right.
All right. Talk to you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.